200,000. And from that information, there's a question. First, calculate the environmental cost per pound of a fertilizer for each product. So in order to answer the questions, so I hope you can imagine how the inventory analysis work in a company when they do the analysis aspect for input output related to the materials in inventory. And alright, now we go to the next or the second stage of the life cycle assessment. Like I said before, we have three, and this is the second stage, which is impact analysis. So what is impact analysis? Priorly, we discussed about the inventory analysis, and the impact analysis is concerned on the important to determine, the financial consequences of the environmental impact identified in inventory and improvement step of life cycle assessment. So this is the next process when we already discussed on inventory analysis. Now we want to know about the assessment related costs with environmentals. In order to assess environmental costs for this inventory stage, it actually can facilitate the impact analysis. And I will give sort of informations how this works in impact analysis. I will give the pictures or scenario or conditions. We have a cup versus polyfoam cup example, like I have mentioned before. The comparison based on the operational data were fairly clean in the sense that one product environmental impacts were almost always less than the other product. So we can see which product that we have environmental aspect for decision making. All right. So, but there are some questions that arise when we talk about this comparison between, for example, the paper cup versus polyfoam cup. For example, what is the cost of producing methane emissions compared to the cost of water effluent in particulates? Because they combine in the two products. And the questions, what are the economic benefit from recycling polyfoam cups? The advantage of assigning cost is that the total environmental cost provide an index that can be used for ranking the competing alternatives. And how are the costs assigned? That's all these questions arise during we do the impact analysis. The answers to the cost assignment question is actually been given. The materials costs are assigned through direct tracings, and which is we can identify the amount of the materials consumed per unit, and then we can multiply by the price paid for the materials. And in terms of energy cost, for example, and the cost of producing environmental release are assigned through driver tracings. And just for the exiting products or the process, if they are the cost per object, we simply identify the associated environmental activities and the cost that rise for this product. So many of the costs here are the societal costs, and the measurement becomes more difficult, and taking only a private costing approach is also possible for the recycle and also disposals aspect. And for the next, this is how we look on the impact analysis. There are two, the comparison, paper cup and polyfoams, in terms of environmental cost per unit. As you can see, based on the material usage, the paper cups cost for $1.010 compared to the polyfoam that the material usage only costs for 0.004. And based on the utilities, the paper cups are quite expensive compared to the polyfoam cup, and the total for the private cost here, as you can see here, that the total dollars is 1.130, and the polyfoam cup is much cheaper than the paper cups that only cost $0.012. And we also have the aspect of recycling benefit, where that could be an aspect of minimum, or to minimize the cost. For example, the paper cups, the cost is 0.1, and the polyfoam cups is 0.004. And in total, the environmental cost per unit between paper cups and polyfoam cups, the paper cups cost 0.029, and the polyfoam cups is cheaper, which is 0.008. So the unit life cycle costs provide a summary measure of the relative environmental impact of those two products and serve to support the qualitative interpretations of the operational and subjective environmental data. So from this information, we could decide which one is best in terms of environmental cost per unit, and we agree that the polyfoam cups is more environmental friendly. Now we go to the last analysis. It is improvement analysis. Improvement analysis is assessing environmental impacts, in operational and financial terms, set the stage for the final step, that the searching for ways to reduce the environmental impact of the alternative being considered or analyzed. And it is the step that connect with the control system in organizations. By improving the environmental performance of existing products and the process is the overall objective of environmental control systems. So this is the last result in this life cycle assessment. So improvement analysis will give some insight for the companies, the management, to decide how the product is environmentally friendly, or how the products impact in environmentals, how they meet the standard for environmentals. All right, so this is we have samples to assign the what's called the impact analysis. Assign environmental costs, life cycle costs, and also environmental cost controls. In these examples, it is said that Pierce Enterprise produced two types of fertilizers, quick reactions and also long reactions. And the Pierce recently just received a significant criticism from the environmental groups, from the local residents, and also from the federal government concerning their environmental performance. And so that's why the Henry Hyde, the president of the Pierce, he wants to know how the company environmental activities affect the cost of each product. He believed, the Henry believed, that the main source of the environmental problem lies with their product quick reactions, but they would like to some evidence to support. So that's why they want to do this analysis where the best performance in terms of environmentals from these two products, quick reactions or long reactions. In the slide in the screen, you can see that we have a certain amount that related to the pounds of a fertilizer produced. For example, the quick reactions, they have 1 million there, and compared to the long reactions, it has 2 millions. In terms of engineering hours, which come from the process designs, the quick reactions have 1,500 hours. Compared to the long reactions, it has 4,500. And also in terms of pound of solid residual, they have 30,000, and long reagents have 10,000. In terms of inspection hours, the liquid reagent have 10,000 and long reagent have 5,000. And for the cleanup hours, the liquid reagents have 5,000 and long reagent have 2,000. So we also have additional information related to the activity where it is for our best in calculating the impact. There are 4 process or 4 items there. The first is designing process that contains or that cover for about $550,000. In terms of treating residuals, there is a number there, 600,000. For inspecting process, 120,000, and for the cleaning up lake, from 2,000 to 100,000. And from that information, there's a question. First, calculate the environmental cost per pound of a fertilizer for each product. So in order to answer the questions, we need to calculate the activity rates. As you can see here, based on the additional information that we got in terms of the signing process, for example, we have 150,000 and divided by 6,000 hours. That's a combination between the quick rig and also link reagents. And we have the activity rate, which is $25. And for the treating residuals, we have $15,000. And for inspecting process, we have the activity rate $8, and the last cleaning up lake we have $20. And now for the second stage, we use the rates to assign the environmental cost and calculate the unit environmental cost. For the quick reagent, for example, we have the rates $25, right? And we have the hours is 1,500 hours, and we have the numbers is $37.5 for the rate. And compared to long reagents, they have 112,500. And in terms of treating residuals, the numbers for the quick reagent is 450 compared to the long reagent is 150,000. And in total, we got the number that the unit cost per pound of the quick reagents is $0.72 compared to the long reagents $0.17. From this, we know that long reagent is the best product that meet the environmental standards. So the analysis from this point, we can decide which product that we could keep going and which product that we need to evaluate whether we improve their commitment to environmental or we eliminate from our products. So the management could decide where is the best. That's a question for number 1. The question number 2, based on the calculations in requirement 1, which product appeared to be the most environmental harmful? Of course, we have the answers, as I mentioned before, that long reagent is the best one and the quick reagent is very harmful for the environment. And for the third question, would like life cycle cost assessment provide stronger evidence for the environmental sustainability of each product? Please explain. All right, so the answer for the third question is the life cycle assessment has 3 steps. As I mentioned before, that we have inventory analysis, we have impact analysis, we have improvement analysis. Of the 3 steps, the first 2 are concerned with identifying the material and energy requirements and environmental release and also the environmental effect of competing process and also the product designs. This life cycle assessment provides a more comprehensive analysis of environmental effect than the environmental cost per unit. So that's why we have the information, the cost per unit of the life cycle environmental cost of the product that the company produced. So That is why we need to learn the life cycle assessment models. So that's all the topic about life cycle assessment model for the subject environmental accounting. I hope you have a clearer idea about what exactly life cycle cost assessment is and why it is important. So that's all from me, and thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel of Kuliah Teknokrat. See you next.
Terima kasih sudah menyaksikan video pembelajaran ini. Jangan lupa like, komen dan subscribe, serta nyalakan tanda loncengnya agar kalian tidak ketinggalan informasi update lainnya.